Welcome to Executive Insights. My guest today is Tania Ferreira, Head of Event Content Production with Bonhill, producer of Women in IT Summit and Awards series. In this episode, Tania shares successes and lessons learned from pivoting to a digital platform. She highlights some of the main themes and conversations that emerged from the WIT Summit series in 2020. Last but not least, Tania unveils an exciting initiative on February 10th that is meaningful to our global technology community. Hi, Tania. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited to have you today.
Hi, Nasheen. So great to be here. I appreciate the invitation.
Tania, despite the kind of year we've had and all the enormous challenges facing your industry, Women in IT Summit and Award series managed to pivot to a virtual platform and successfully executed 14 events globally. First of all, give yourself a big pat on the back. What an amazing achievement for you and your team. I'm just wondering what motivated your organization to forge ahead with this global initiative last spring?
Thank you, Nasheen. Pat on the shoulder that I give myself goes out to my whole team, to the whole organization for everything that they did and how quickly they were able to respond. It really was a team effort, so thank you very much for that recognition. I think what we need to understand and acknowledge is that obviously 2020 was a very difficult and challenging year for everyone, particularly the events industry. We saw that projects were halted. We saw that events were postponed, even those major ones like the Olympics. Many events even got cancelled in their entirety. And we saw a lot of organizations going under and they weren't able to continue, which is very, very sad. And, you know, my heartfelt regards to all of them, and hopefully that it all comes through and that this year will give them new opportunities to rejoin us. In our organization, we really did come together as a team. And I have to give a big shout out to our senior management that inspired us, gave us full scope to be as creative as possible, to really pivot and learn. We tested all sorts of platforms. We explored all of our options, and failure wasn't an option, really. We had to do whatever we could. And the idea that the whole team banded together and just said, right, we're going to make it work one way or another. Let's try this. And we were all out of our comfort zones. We've actually come to experience, how much we can learn when sometimes we are under that pressure, how we could pivot, and all the skills that we have acquired since then have just made us better professionals. We are more prepared than ever for any sort of change and pivot. The team at the business on the tech side also did a fantastic job to make sure that we could all work from home, that we could continue doing what we want to do. And the reason we were really motivated to do that is because this is such an important topic for us. Women in IT is a portfolio that was established so long ago, back in 2015, and it was just an awards program. And since then, it has grown into multiple geographies. In 2019, I joined, and we expanded and included the summits. Again, more geographies included in the portfolio, and we've just seen that the community has really embraced the need for this and are appreciative of having something that does celebrate and recognize the female professionals in the industry. And it goes far beyond that. It goes far beyond just being a women in event. We have explored so many different areas. We've looked for champions and allies, and we've expanded the project to be more than just gender. And we didn't want to lose that. We didn't want to lose all the progress. We didn't want to lose this momentum that there is at the moment of greater change, the desire from everyone for greater change. And we're extremely passionate about it. I'm sure you can tell already.
Absolutely. And, when you spoke about the empowerment from the senior management, how the team were bending together and to get creative and determined, those were just really great success factors. And are there any additional ones you would like to share? And also, what were some of the key lessons learned from this digital pivot?
Definitely great questions. I also have to give a very big shout out to our community and to our partners, because we couldn't have done it without them. We couldn't have done it without their support and the association and sort of the passion that they have with us for these topics and for our events. So we didn't want to let them down. Obviously, it is for them and for the industry. We wanted to, show that things can get tough, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel, that there are support systems, that we are still fighting for what needs to happen, so that there is greater diversity, equity, and inclusion as a whole, not just in this industry, but across the board. So the lessons learned there was that, if you put your mind to it, you can really do it. So, don't think it's too difficult. Find a way, look for your partners, look for support, reach out. I think being open and honest and acknowledging that it is a learning curve for everybody is so important. I don't think that in all my conversations that I had with potential speakers or partners that we said, at any stage that it was going to be great and, that there was not going to be any hiccups. We had to be honest. We had to be real. And I think people appreciate that, because I think the fact that we were constantly improving and that we did it is a big learning opportunity, that there's always something to do better. So we learned with every single experience, from the first virtual event that we did in June all the way through to our final one that we did for Asia. And we did go and tweak everything on the summit side, as well as virtual awards that we explored. And it was great, so that we could start this year with a clear picture of what worked, what didn't work, what we could do better, what else can we include. And then we're just constantly building on top of best practice. That was wonderful. And I think one more that I have to say is that we learned that there were no borders. When we went virtual, everyone was included. And when we talk about these types of events, we want to make sure that everyone feels included. So we were able to expand the projects in a way that if we did go to Canada, for example, we weren't just in Toronto, and it wasn't just for the professionals that were based there because it was closer for them to attend. Now everybody could join, and we could have the Canadian best practice shared across the globe.
Yeah, the virtual platform and technology in general has certainly expanded the art of the possible. And speaking of technology, 2020 has not only heightened the role of technology, but also shone a light on so many important topics. I'm wondering, what are some of the major themes and crucial conversations that emerged from the Summit series from 2020?
Oh, there were so many. Some of the ones that I would like to highlight is definitely regarding the digital transformation. It's not a surprise. It is a very important one, but it was the steps to achieve success and a successful transformation, what organizations had to do, what employees had to do, how they had to embrace that technology and how to prepare. Obviously, we saw organizations that were better prepared and had been doing a transformation along the way, and others that had to pivot very, very quickly. So looking at those different case studies was very interesting. I think there was a lot of different lessons learned, and also being able to see what else organizations could do. So if they were traditional manufacturers of a certain product, how they quickly shifted and became a support to healthcare facilities and were able to look at adapting to customer needs and industry needs and just global needs. So I think being able to look at what you are doing as an organization internally and being able to shift was one of the highlights for me, that quick response. Obviously within that there was AI, there was analytics, there was agility and accessibility. A lot of those topics, those key words came out as part of that. I think something else that came as part of that was the idea of talent and finding people that were able to develop those ideas, that were on board to embrace those ideas. And as we well know, there is this positive and negative side to the situation that we're in with this pandemic, that unfortunately there is a wider talent pool out there because of the changes and what it's done to the economy and to jobs. But at the same time, in the positive sense, there is a greater talent pool out there now. And there are a lot of people that have been looking for opportunities to pivot into technology. So how do we help them do that? How do we look at the skills? And what skills are important right now to bring them into technology? How do we upskill? How do we continue our learning? That's something that I think really came out a lot, that a diversity of thought, the creativity, the difference of perspective and opinions cross industries at this time is so fruitful for all organizations. And I know that a lot of companies are looking at how they can get that talent into their businesses as well. And then obviously we went to working from home. So the discussion was talking about working from home, but then linked to that was also cybersecurity and privacy, and considering all of the implications of people working from home on their own broadbands, on their own connections, and the accessibility that they have to very important data and documents, and making sure that we are as secure as possible as an organization, and making sure that us as individuals are also having our data protected to the greatest extent. And finally, I think on a professional development level, there was the idea and the discussion of change management, risk mitigation, leadership, again, training. So thinking about how we adapt our styles, our approaches, what skills started to shine or were required to shine a bit more, things like your EQ, compassion, understanding, listening, being able to read between the lines in a virtual setting rather than a physical one. I think, if anything, it's really changed us as professionals, and we saw a lot of that and a lot of great examples throughout the summit.
Excellent insights and a great summary. That certainly echoes my observation and our conversations with our CIO community locally in Canada as well. You're starting 2021 with the launch of a global summit. How exciting. And as the head of event content production, what's your vision and focus for this global initiative? Can you give me a hint of what the agenda might look like?
Well, without giving too much away, because we are launching, so you should be able to see everything coming out on social media, on our websites, and obviously through all our media partners like yourselves at IT Media Group. Very, very grateful to have you with us. But I hope everyone will keep their eyes peeled. The event is going to be a type of global gathering for our community, for our partners, and for all our new followers. We're going to be looking at trying to reflect, rebuild, and redefine. And I'm not just talking about the content itself, because that's essentially what we're going to be focusing on, with a variety of formats: fireside chats, keynotes, panel discussions, conversations with. It's going to be just a short, sweet, punchy style that I like to describe the event as, where we will be talking about these topics and what us as an organization will be doing, and all the new products that are going to come out, all the wonderful projects that we have that we'd love for everybody to get involved with, things that are going to be a bit of spin-offs, a few discussions, deep dives, lots to look forward to. We'll have a full calendar release of everything you can look forward to and start putting into your calendars and diaries to make sure you don't miss them. And we've got a few surprises, but I won't share too much more, because I want you to go and have a look. I want you to see it for yourselves. And obviously, any questions, any doubts, you are more than welcome to get in touch with myself or the team at any point throughout.
Sounds exciting, and I'm so looking forward to working with you again. And of course, We at the IT Media Group are so honored to have been a media partner with your organization since the initial launch of the Canadian Summit in 2019, and I've thoroughly enjoyed our collaboration. It's so profoundly meaningful and rewarding to be able to play a role in helping to bring a community together and advancing conversations that create real impact and actions. I think more organizations and individuals should get involved. And can you talk about why should more organizations participate and how can more companies and individuals get involved on February 10th?
Amazing. Thank you, Nasheen. And a special thank you to you for joining us, for being such a great supporter of the series and supporting us very much in Canada and now on a global level. So thank you very much to you and the group. It's been wonderful to work with you, and I can't wait for what comes next this year. Yes, definitely a wonderful shout out opportunity to ask everyone to please come and join us. Please consider the events as an opportunity to partner with us. There are some really wonderful events coming up, and it's something that I can describe as a 3-in-1 kind of opportunity. The events don't just focus on one thing. We have 3 pillars that we really base the content off, and it's part of our beliefs when we do these things. So we invite organizations to be part of these projects because I think everybody has a responsibility to get this topic of diversity, equity, and inclusion beyond just a topic or just discussions. It needs to be about action. And we can't achieve this greatness in technology in any other way without including more people in the conversations, getting more seats at the table. So those kind of discussions are important, and we continue to have them. And we will continue to have one of the 3 pillars, which is the business strategy, emerging technology, organizational transformation, market challenges conversation, because we're all professionals in the industry. And these are topics that everybody needs to hear about. So it's not a gender thing. It is about case studies, best practice, thought leadership across the board. Everybody needs to be involved. The second pillar that we consider is that of professional development. Let's really take a look at this. The world is constantly changing, and it's changed so much in a short period of time in 2020, and it will continue to change. Maybe not at the same rate, but it will continue to change. We know that, it's certain. So if the world is continuing to change, we as professionals and individuals need to continue to be flexible, adapt, and learn. So when we talk about professional development, we constantly need to be learning. We constantly need to be adapting our styles of leadership, of management, everything. So those conversations, again, important for everyone to be involved in. And then, of course, bringing it back to that DEI focus. It's something that we need to continue to work towards. It's something that I hope will become redundant to talk about because it just becomes part of the norm. And I'd love to be able to get to that position with everyone. We want to see how companies are adopting their products and services to be more considerate and more socially responsible. We want to see so many more people being given opportunities. We want to avoid this idea and forget this idea of people being looked over. We want to offer opportunities. We want to continue to highlight and showcase these individuals at any stage in their career, be them from any race, be them from any gender, if they are from any country. We want to, again, make sure that these barriers, these borders are knocked down. And we can only do that if we do it together. So we're giving a big shout out, a call to all of the organizations, to all the individuals and professionals that believe in this as much as we do, as much as I do, as much as the whole team does. We want to work with you, and we want it very much to be a partnership. We want you to be involved in the agendas. We want you to be involved in the development of these projects, and we want to grow with you. So please do reach out to myself. I'll share our details, my email address, LinkedIn. Please just give me a shout, as well as reach out through our websites. We've got all our team ready to work with you. And of course, we've got our publications, Diversity Q and Information Age, that have so much information, obviously on the diversity side, on the tech side. So we want to make sure that we are shouting loud and proud about everything that we achieve as an industry and beyond.
Well said, Tania. And I'm so looking forward to February 10th and beyond. So thank you for your time and for sharing your insights. This has been a very enjoyable conversation.
Thank you so much, Nasheen.
So thank you everyone for tuning in. This has been another episode of Executive Insights. Thank you and see you again. If you enjoyed this video, check out other content on our YouTube channel. And don't forget to subscribe